Welcome to the Coach Cafe Radio Show, the self-empowerment place to meet on Blog Talk Radio, with your hosts, the self-empowerment dynamic duo, Kathleen Martin and Esther Rowell. Both Kathleen and Esther are certified Law of Attraction life coaches and graduates of the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. Kathleen Martin is the founder of Kathleen Martin Coaching and the creator of the Balanced Life Coaching Program and Kickstart Your Life Coaching Program. She is also the founder of Awesome Health and Wellness and author of Understanding the Law of Attraction 101, The Missing Education, and more. To find Kathleen, please visit www.kathleenmartincoaching.com. Esther Rowell is the founder of America's Life Purpose Coach and the creator of Living on Purpose, 12 Steps to Loving Monday Morning Coaching Program, and co-author of 101 Great Ways to Enhance Your Career. You can find Esther at www.americaslifepurposecoach.com. Please welcome your hosts, Kathleen Martin and Esther Rowell.
So Coach Cafe is thrilled to welcome back Marcia Schwartz, author of Path of Return, a Spiritual Guidebook for Enlightenment in Everyday Life. And A Path of Return gently and lovingly walks you through how you can live a life of integrity, positive intention, and responsibility in everyday dealings with yourself and others, while teaching the principles of living life with compassion and right action. Path of Return is a guide to practicing the spiritual alchemy of remembering your true identity as divine energy. Marcia has an extensive background in training with some of the top names in the field of psychology and energy healing. She completed 4-year certification programs with the Ilana Rubenfeld, who is the founder of Rubenfeld Synergy, John Pierrakos M.D., founder of Core Energy Therapy, and Barbara Brennan, founder of Barbara Brennan School of Healing. Marcia has always been at the forefront of treatment modalities in her chosen field of work, and she looks forward to sharing the guidance, wisdom, and truth found in Path of Return with others. So, I think we're really ready to get started. Marcia, welcome into the Coach Cafe.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Wonderful to be back with you.
Yes, we're thrilled. We love your book, and I'll let you know that I have recommended your book, and the people who have purchased it absolutely love it. So anybody listening, I love the format of your book, the very short chapters, so that it's a great book for a lot of people like to do some. Just read something in the morning, to kind of get their day going in the right direction, something that will be spiritual and kind of guide their thoughts throughout the day. And this is a great book for that. You can get up and read just one chapter. It doesn't take that long, and then that's food for thought for the rest of the day, and it's something to hold in your awareness for that day. So I really love how this came about. And do you want to tell us a little bit? I know you have before, but can you tell us a little bit about how you came to write this book?
Well, the book came through me, I believe, through higher vibrational levels of myself, and it came through in 25-minute periods. So that's why the chapters, for lack of a better word to call them, are short and very doable. Many readers have responded to me and said that they thought, I'm just going to sit down and read this book from cover to cover. But it's not a book to be read from cover to cover, because as you read it, number one, there's a transmission of higher, very comforting energy. Mm-hmm. And also, it's a lot to take in. You want to really absorb the mm-hmm. teaching in each short paragraph and in each short chapter. And like you said, the chapters can be, 2 pages, 3 pages, maybe 3.5 pages at the most. So it's very doable.
Yeah, and as you say, yeah, it's something that you just don't kind of read through it. You know, you really do want to stop and think about it, and think about your life and how to apply what you read to your life. So it is a guidebook. It definitely is a guidebook, and it's a good book for, you know, how sometimes we like to say, okay, I do this. I'll say, all right, what do I need to know today, you know, to my guidance? And I'll have a book that I know contains great wisdom, and you know, just open it up at random. And this is a great book for that as well, because then you're going to get the message that you really need to hear that day and what you need to contemplate in order to move your life forward and to deepen your understanding. And of course, it's the path of return. And so some people might say, well, returning to what? So what are we returning to?
Well, we're returning to remembering. What I look at in the book, or what the book looks at, is that we live in an illusion. This thing that we call reality, our everyday life, is really an illusion. It's a play within a play. And the path of return is something that we put our foot on as soon as we come into this physical reality. And it's like a soul compass that we are searching as we go through the forgetting. We are searching for the remembering. So as children, as babies, you know, babies are so connected. They're so still in the remembering of their divine nature. They are radiant beings. And slowly the process of forgetting, aided by socialization, begins. And sometimes it takes a long time. I've heard of children as old as 8 still speaking of remembering that they come from another experience, and that this is not real, this place. So that's kind of stunning for adults, because most adults have pretty much forgotten that truth. No. So the path of return is what the longing in our soul is always on. And it doesn't matter. I mean, this is true for everyone. Some people walk the path, learn the lessons, get the information more than others. Some people are more connected to this longing within them. But we're all on it.
Right.
Well,
and
Marcia,
go ahead, Kathleen.
Sorry to interrupt, but this also, when you are at the point where you are questioning, it sounds kind of like, to me, as I think about how books come through authors, and it's like you know how they say the what you teach is what you need to know?
Yes.
And was that the way it was for you? Did you feel as though with your background and what you were doing at the time, you know, I know that it appears to me, Marcia, that we're on a soul's journey, right?
Yes.
And it's to know myself as who I truly am. And boy, can it be challenging here, you know. It's like, ooh, sometimes. And, you know, I'm also, when you are really wanting to know, and a book like this comes into your lap, and you sit with it, and it's really profound. I just, you know, I've expressed to you how the effect that it's having on me, it's become quite a companion, and it causes me to expand. So it is really quite, provoking to me. And it interests me how that seems to be the way it goes here. You know, I mean, you came in a soul on a journey, and like you were describing about children, and we're all kind of along, to me, an explanation. You can maybe help us maybe understand how What's the explanation about how some people seem to move in and out at different, like it is like school almost, even though I don't want to feel like we're being tested, but, like everybody's at a different level along this path going back. But the way you were explaining that, it's really a path of knowledge almost. To me, it's like a path of knowing yourself. So did you find that it happened like that for you, where you were doing what you were doing and suddenly were you questioning at the time and you started to ask and this is the way it came through for you?
Well, I was one of those children. And
okay.
I remembered, and I knew that there was a larger reality, and I always called it home, and would really connect with what at the time I understood to be the divine, which was God, and still is God. But so I would lay on my bed and cry to be taken home. And I knew on very deep levels that I was not talking about the home I lived in.
Right.
My bedroom was in my home. And then I would sit, and I had a window, and I would look out at the sky, and I would say, please, I want to come home. Because I remembered what union felt like.
Ooh, yeah?
I remembered the bliss of it. I remembered the expansion of it. And that longing never left me. And in the preface to the book, I talk about how God became a person to me. So I would beg, and I would ask, and then I would get mad like a little teen, and then I would threaten to, I'm never going to talk to you again. And this is all when I was 8 years old or something.
Wow, yeah.
So, yeah, and then it just kind of receded. I never forgot, but it receded. And I thought, well, the only way I'm going to go home is at the end of this life. I knew that I would return. I knew that. So, but there was always a sadness, a missing. So what has happened through this book is so amazing to me, because I really think that in terms of the law of attraction, my longing to be home never, ever left me. It was my greatest longing ever. It was private. I didn't talk about it with people, but it was my longing. And this book actually taught me, as I was writing it, as it was coming through me, that I was always home. That nobody ever leaves home. Just because we have this marketplace life doesn't mean that we're not always home at the same time.
Okay.
So that's the real message of the book, is how you can be enlightened, which is remembering.
Right.
At the same time you go about your everyday life. How can you be home, the big home, the capital H home,
right,
when you're on the grocery line?
Right.
And that is the shift that happens when you realize that you are in concurrent realities, when they're happening at the same time. Because we live in this world of duality, we can't fathom that.
Right. I know it's difficult. Well, don't you find, and this is where, with our show, with, self-empowerment, how do you do that? Well, what are some of the things that you can help our listeners practice daily to be able to feel that? Because there's a lot of confusion. in life, we're very confused, I think. It's like, up, down, in, out, light, dark, the opposites going on, paradoxes. One day you're up, the next day you're down. One day it looks good, the next day some tragedy has occurred. And it's quite daunting for us here. Yet at the same time, attempting to feel the sensation in myself that I'm not separate from the loving Creator that is always there for me, even during those times of, the ordinary and the extraordinary. So what would be something that you would recommend to our listeners as a practice, perhaps, that they could begin to do today that will help them to remember?
Well, the book has so much about how to do that. What I would suggest is, for me, it really helped to do the Great Breath meditation. Now, any viewer can get that by going to the website, subscribing, and anybody who subscribes gets that with me doing that. It's also written in the book. That was a great help to me. Then the I Am Divine Energy mantra that is also in the book, that was a great help. But to answer your question, on what you were talking about, Kathleen, the reason why we lose that connection is because of this duality. The connection is always there. It's just like the sun.
Right.
Today is a cloudy day, but we all know that the sun is there.
Right.
We never doubt that the sun is there.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
When within us our feelings are calm and peaceful, it's a sunny day, and we can very easily feel that connection, which is the experience of an open heart and loving. I have always said it is much more important for us to love than to be loved. Be loved. So because that is, when we are in our radiant selves, our divine essence, we are love. And that is the most significant connection to the reality of remembering. So we want to have our heart open, and we want to be experiencing this overwhelming love. Now, when we have bad days, like you said, there are other feelings that come up. So what are those feelings? Those feelings belong to the everyday reality, the reality of this physical incarnation. They are feelings of sadness, anger, jealousy, revenge, guilt, shame. They come up. And they are the clouds that make it difficult for us, impossible for us to feel that love. So dealing with those parts, and there's information in the book about dealing with the parts, but thinking of the parts as the way, some of the parts are just the parts that hold the pain and the fear. They're the parts that could not deal with whatever happened to them at whatever age, and what the result of the circumstance they found themselves in, the situation, is that they experienced pain, deep, deep pain. And then other parts came to protect us from the pain. So if I'm angry, I know that anger is a protective part. Anger is protecting a vulnerable part of me. So working with these parts, getting to know the parts, and welcoming them, and loving them, and finding compassion for them is how to heal and integrate these split-off parts of ourselves, which we all have. Because if we didn't have them, we would only feel joy and peace. But other feelings that come up are held in other parts of us. So when those parts are triggered, we are cut off from our open heart because it's not safe to be vulnerable. No, and it's only in our vulnerability that we can truly experience that unconditional, compassionate love, which is the soul's longing as a state of being.
Right. That was wonderful. That was really necessary, I feel, I hope our listeners really spend time listening to this again, because you're going to be helped tremendously to understand. I recently am getting to this march in my life where I'm going, there must be a very good reason for me to feel like this, and rather than push it away and not, like you're saying, welcome it in. Well, make enough room for all of that, because it's part of the whole thing. It's not going to be all light here. It's not going to be all joy here, right? And we kind of walk around, wondering, why not? But that would be good. I would like that. But
we're in the world of duality in
this
incarnation. In the physical world is duality, but that's only one reality. The problem is that we try within this physical everyday reality to find that place of divine connection, and it's not in this. It's in the vehicle through which this reality is happening, and we can expand into that greater reality that contains this physical reality.
Right.
So yes, and that's where the growth happens, right? I mean, there's a reason we're here. We chose to be here, right?
We chose to be to find our way back.
Yeah.
We chose
because therein lies the growth.
We came into this incarnation, and whether we thought it was going to be fun or we just challenged ourselves, we laid out this is truly my belief, that we laid out an obstacle course. And then we challenged ourself to find the truth. It's like the Holy Grail. Each one of us must find that Holy Grail. And the Holy Grail here is that we have always been, we are, and we will always be divine. And that our true nature is love, and that the greatest love is compassion. So the compassion is what leads us to this state of being love. And we are never happier than we are when we are in that state of love, of loving. We don't feel safe doing it much of the time. Some people, not any of the time. Because, along the way, especially in childhood, so much has been done that makes children feel unsafe. Some of it's real, some of it's imagined.
Right. That's a very good point, yeah.
But it results in the child feeling unsafe. So we have to find our safety not necessarily in this physical life, but in our spiritual life and in being connected to this divine source. Whatever way people are, connected, it really doesn't matter. All connection is wonderful. As long as this is love and compassion and peace, it's wonderful. And we're all struggling to find it. So, you sit in a movie theater and just think that everybody around you is on the same journey. Whether they're conscious, you and myself and your listeners, we're conscious of it. we know that that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But
right.
People might not even know, but they're doing it.
Right. That's why a lot of teachers will say that people are still asleep, even though you look like you're awake. You're still asleep.
Waking up to the truth. Yeah.
Right. And we're waking up, and boy, you have to be darn brave to do this.
I think
and that's why this book, we highly, highly recommend it, listeners. It's a very powerful, and it's going to help. It is a guidebook. It's like, I will sometimes think that, Marcia. I'm sure I'm not the only one for sure. Everybody thinks it's like, well, nobody gave me the instruction manual when I got here, they give you more training to drive your car than life. So I heard somebody say that the other day. I thought it was very true. It's like, they'll teach you at a certain point certain things, but wow, they left out some really important information, so that when you do start to feel what I call it feeling wobbly, when I really feel, there are times when in my practices, and therefore absolutely do the practices that Marcia is recommending in her book. Go to her website, go to her YouTube channel, go to her Facebook page, and they're posted there very simply. Do it, and you'll start to feel that groundedness where, okay, I'm okay, and then probably something in your day will kind of cause you to feel wobbly again, but that's okay because you've had the sense of stability, and you can go back to it. Just keep going back and do it again. Just like when you were riding your bike, at one point it was pretty wobbly, and then, they even felt wobbly with the training wheels, right? And then take them off, and there you go. But maybe you might be riding your bike one day, and it's pretty darn challenging on that course that some people do that blow my mind, in the world. But you had training, and so you were guided and you knew you were going to be okay. And that's the kind of thing that I feel like is so important, where I think that was one of the primary things. Don't you agree, both of you, that when we were little children, one of the things that we needed to hear when something was not feeling so good was, don't worry, you're going to be okay, And that's what this guidebook does.
I think it's really important to realize that when your wonderful day turns not so wonderful, it's really just a part of you that's been triggered. It's not you. It's a part of you that's been triggered. And what you can do is recognize that part, get to know, and develop a compassion for it. And this has been talked about in so many therapies. Gestalt therapy talks about parts, and Jung talked about subpersonalities and archetypes and transpersonal psychology and internal family systems. I mean, it's been talked about in the world of therapy for a really long time. But what's really important is that people understand that who they truly are is their divine self, which is love, and it emanates love. And that's their longing. And you just need to be devoted and dedicated and follow that deep heart longing to be in and come from that place of love, to be open-hearted with the parts that come up in yourself and the parts that come up in others. But these parts that come up, if my part that is full of shame comes up, I just love her.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
I want to know. I want to be there with her. I want to help her. And these parts need what they never got and needed when they came on the scene.
Right.
We can give them what they never got, which is the same for all of us. A loving, compassionate, accepting, safe place and to be heard.
That was just beautiful, Marcia. That totally opened my heart just then. It's something that we really do need to do is, love really truly, like it is like a child. You would put your arms around that child when it was in pain.
Right. But people would do for a child outside of themselves without questioning what they sometimes have a lot of difficulty doing for the child within.
Right. Yes,
and I worked a lot in the past with workshops. I ran workshops with a partner on healing the child within. It was always we would do psychodrama, and it was always so painful for me as the therapist to see how some people, when they first come upon the child, want to get rid of the child, hate, blame the child,
right?
And then to see, it was so wonderful to see them come around to loving the child, understanding the child, having compassion for the child.
Right.
Watch the incredible healing take place.
We
embrace our child parts or our different parts with this kind of unconditional loving compassion.
Yes.
We are actually halfway through, a little bit over halfway through.
Okay.
So let's take a break right now to reintroduce ourselves and our guest. We are Coach Cafe on Blog Talk Radio, and we are speaking with Marcia Schwartz, who is the author of Path of Return, a Spiritual Guidebook for Enlightenment in Everyday Life. So, Marcia, you're sharing wonderful wisdom with us. So please tell our listeners again where they can find you and what they can expect when they go to your website.
I have a website. It's Marcia, Marcia, and then there's a middle initial A, Schwartz, SCHWARTZ.com. And on the website, there are an archive of blogs. When you subscribe, you get the Great Breath meditation. You can click on Facebook from the website and the YouTube, and there are just many things on the website for you. And also the Facebook page, it's at facebook.com/pathofreturn. I'd love to see you in both places.
Great. Yes, and I'll tell you, you do want that Great Breath meditation. That is just a wonderful meditation. It's so expanding. So definitely, please go visit Marcia on her website and on her Facebook page.
And pick up the book.
Absolutely.
There.
No, you need
the book. Pick it up for a friend,
too. Need the book. Yeah.
Yes, the book. You can get the book on the website or at Amazon. And when you subscribe, you get my blogs. You'll be able
they're beautiful, beautiful blogs.
They're short.
Loving it. Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
And thought-provoking.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And we've been honored to have Marcia as a guest blogger on our website, CoachCafeRadio.net, as well. And Kathleen, do you want to talk about? We do have a caller, so we're going to ask. We're going to get to the caller very soon. We have a caller with a question. But before we get back to that, Kathleen, do you want to talk about what we have going on?
Absolutely. We're thrilled. We are so excited. A few things are going on. Well, first of all, I just want to make a quick mention again to be sure to go to our website at CoachCafeRadio.net. And if you haven't signed up for your gifts and enter into our contest, just another quick reminder about that. And you will be also able to find out more about our wonderful new program that we've created, our product rather, called Magnetize to Manifest, 7 Steps to Living Your Ideal Life. And Esther and I got together and put together this product so that you can take these steps daily to begin to change your life in a lot of wonderful ways. We've taken from what we consider to be the best from the teachers and experts and authors that we have had the privilege of studying and being together with as 7 steps that you can take every day that will line you up with your ideal life. So these are simple steps, and we've put together an easy to follow format that includes video and audio and a PDF manual. And we put a lot of thought into which steps these should contain, and they are absolutely steps that will hit you on all different levels, that's for sure. So all you have to do is go to Magnetize to Manifest, Magnetitomanifest.com, and you'll see our program there with a lot of description and what you'll get, and we certainly put it at a very, very affordable price point for everyone because we want everyone to have it and follow these steps. So take your time, go over there, check it out, and you know, it's something that we feel very, very good about. So we're thrilled about it. We just launched that for everyone. And what else? We do want to say that coming up very shortly, be on the lookout for our mentoring program. We're going to begin our Happiness Tribe mentoring program where you meet with us weekly, so be on the lookout for that.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and so getting back into our subject matter, I'm going to go ahead and unmute our caller. So, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, could you just tell us your first name?
Lisa.
Sorry, Lisa?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Lisa. And do you have a question for Marcia?
Yeah, I'm just getting kind of nervous, and not nervous, but just really confused. Put my place on the market about 3.5 weeks ago, and my realtor's pushing me to drop the price, and I just feel in my gut it's not right to do yet. And I don't know. He's telling me he doesn't think it will sell unless I drop it, that it's too high, but it's whatever everybody else is on the market, and I kind of feel like I should be waiting 2 or 3 months to drop it. And he's like, no, you probably won't sell it till later, and then it'll be a really low price. And he says, you're just not listening to me, and I've been in the business 30 years, but I don't know. My gut's telling me different. I've read books and stuff, and I don't know. You know, I'm just confused.
All right.
I mean, I really want to get this sold, but I can't give it away. I refuse to. It's like I'm not desperate. I don't have to get out of here. I don't have a kid going to school where I have to be in a district by September. You know, if it was a little later and I got the right price, I just feel like I'm kind of giving up on something almost, but I'm not sure. You know, he's telling me I'm going to get a worse price later down the line.
Okay, and so you're asking, you know,
like, do you think I need to drop this now? Do I need to drop this price or wait a while? It's been 3.5 weeks.
Lisa, we're just a little bit confused with your question for Marcia as it relates to her book.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought it was generalized questions. I hadn't heard the whole thing, so I have no idea what the book's about.
Okay. Yes, I think that perhaps in fact, we weren't sure if you thought perhaps you were on another show regarding real estate, but have you listened to the show from the beginning?
No. I just kind of tuned on to it just now. No, I didn't get to listen to it at the beginning. No.
Okay.
I mean, if you're not comfortable with my question then and I'm off base, that's fine, you know.
Well, what do you think, ladies? What would we say to Lisa here? It sounds like you're out of alignment about information that's coming up in your life that's causing you to feel what? Well, you know, and perhaps Marcia can bring it around in a way that we can at least leave you with something to feel good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like maybe he's still wants to sell faster or something, and he's telling me that I'm crazy. That's not the case at all. That, you know, he believes, you know, what he believes, you know, that the market is not going to, buy my $5,000 more, it's not going to make a difference in the long run, but might not to him, but it does to me.
Well, Well, yeah, from a spiritual viewpoint, all right, which is where we're coming from, my rule of thumb is always to get into alignment and then take the action, but don't take any action when you're not in alignment. So if you're not feeling good about something, then it's not the time to take that action.
Yes, that's what I thought. Like he might be trying to say within 3 weeks, but I need things to play out within 2 months, and if that's going to make such a difference of a month, then something's wrong. Because places still don't sell within 30 days only nowadays. A lot of people take more time than that to purchase a property. You know what I mean?
Right. So I'll just jump in here. What I would do is kind of step back from that pressure of the real estate agent, and take some time to get quiet within yourself, and connect with your breath, and ask for your guidance.
I've done it already, and my guidance is screaming out, "Don't do it right now."
Well,
then
there you go. So you just have to smile pleasantly at your real estate agent and say, "Yeah, I'm feeling like it's okay. We've got some time."
But he's telling me I'm crazy and that we're not working together good because I'm not doing what he says. So basically, it's up in 3 months. In 2 more months, my thing's up. And then I'll just go to someone else if there's not some kind of agreement here, because I need someone to also be working with me, listening to me as well. You know what I mean? I mean, I can't just do something because a noose is around my neck. That's not the reason. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm looking at the market. I'm seeing what else is out there. And, of course, it's me taking the risk. But I feel like, if he's going to keep on pressuring me, then that might mean that maybe he's not the best person for me to work with, and that, I then have to, take it off for a month or 2 or 3 weeks and then go with someone else that's a big lister, that does a lot of sales.
Well,
you
Lisa,
might also...
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ezra.
Oh, I was going to say, you might also want to ask yourself, because I'm a life purpose coach. Every relationship has a purpose, a higher purpose to it. So another thing you might want to ask yourself is, what is the higher purpose of relating to this particular real estate agent? What do you need to learn from it? What's the gift and the lesson in there for you? Maybe it's about trusting your own inner guidance and not letting other people's opinions of you influence. That could be the purpose of this. And once you tune into that, then that will change. He'll go away, or something will shift in your life.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know. I feel, though, that I could be hurting myself by not listening on the other hand, because he's so-called the one with the experience. I'm not in real estate. I
well,
don't know
Lisa, not to
about
interrupt you, but we do have other calls on the line. We would just leave it at that, and we recommend that you follow your intuition and check out Marcia's, listen back to the show, check out Marcia's website, and do that meditation. It's going to help you very much. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Okay, well, that was a little bit of a different question to handle on our show today, but we hope that Lisa did gain something from our answers.
Right. Well, it's an example of, life is happening in this particular time-space reality. So how do we take these everyday things, right, and take them higher and relate to them out from a higher perspective?
Yes. So, and so, Marcia, and going ahead, as we're getting closer to the end here, we want to make sure that we definitely bring up more of the practical advice this book really does offer, because it's quite a combination of being very spiritual and very practical. That's why I love it, because it's going to be for everyone. You're going to most definitely gain something from reading, and it is because the chapters are, no matter what it is that you're going through, whatever it is, there's going to be something in here that's going to help you to shift. And one of my favorite, and you're going to read them over and over. You need to read the chapters over and over. It really is a companion book in life. And I love the chapter Shift in Perception. This one of my favorite chapters. You even begin it with, you walk onto this stage that you call life, but it's only a shadow of your true self. But that is for you to discover. So it's so profound, yet, it is like you mentioned, marketplace. We're in the marketplace here. It's like, what about my everyday life, and how do I incorporate this in my life to be able to shift my perception and live that peaceful place that really does, it is in there. It's not going to be all day long, but it is in there, right?
So, and Marcia, do we have you on the line? Things are strange again. I think she got dropped. I'm going to...
Oh, okay.
Marcia, are you there? Are you back?
Oh, good.
I hear you fine.
Oh, good.
Okay, good. We hear you now, too. Okay, because things are very strange today, technologically speaking. So
we're having a Pippi Longstocking day.
That was totally one of my favorite books growing up.
Me too.
Mine too. Actually, I read it as an adult.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
So let me get back to that. Let me know if you don't hear me. So
Okay.
So anyway, the book addresses both reality this illusory reality that we call everyday life. It addresses that, as well as the reality that we are, have been, and will always be divine essence. And when it teaches the principles of living life with integrity, right intention, and right action. Mm-hmm. And that's what's in the book a lot, And the shift in perception is about moving from thinking that this illusory reality of everyday life is the only reality there is, and shifting to perceiving that there is a greater reality within which this reality of everyday life is taking place. Mm-hmm. That's shift in perception.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's the key.
Absolutely.
Because then we know that our true identity is divine, it's love, it's compassion, and all of the things in that I am divine energy mantra. Mm-hmm. I am wisdom, creativity, intelligence, understanding, grace, joy, bliss, abundance, patience, tolerance, forgiveness, kindness, empathy. Infinite and eternal. That's who we are. And what we deal with in this illusory life are the parts that get triggered. So,
right.
Even with the caller, she said she was nervous, and she was confused. Now, she wasn't nervous and confused. That radiant self of this caller is never confused or nervous, but there are parts being triggered in her by this situation, by interactions.
Right, absolutely. And go ahead, Kathy.
We do that often. Yeah. Well, Marcia, that is true, but it's knowing that that's true. It's like that, life is moving real quick. Thoughts are moving real quick. So it was, here's an everyday marketplace experience where she's dealing with an everyday life experience that's causing what she feels. I love the way you put this. This is just activated something in her. That's it.
It's just triggered
it, right?
Part,
But it feels to her
can
like
I really trust myself? So
right.
These are parts of her that come up when she's challenged by somebody who supposedly knows what is in the authority. Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
Right. So it's a matter of this is the daily practice. things are going to activate within you, parts of you. And that's why knowing what Marcia's teaching in this book is going to help you along the way. So when it does happen, you're going to understand that and know that it doesn't mean what it means. I think that's a very big part of life, too. Don't you agree? We give meaning to things.
Well, I can give you a very practical thing for everyone to be able to use immediately, and that is the caller said, I am nervous. No, the I in her, not the I am, is not ever nervous, okay? Mm-hmm. If she could say, I have a part of me that feels nervous, or I have a part of me that's confused. If we can just leave this radio show and go out in the world, and if we're feeling angry, instead of saying, I am angry, the I am is never angry. Okay? I have a part that is angry.
That's brilliant right there. And, I feel you talk, clearly these things occurred early in our lives, that's exactly what children need to be taught to say to themselves.
Absolutely.
Early, right?
If we start really young, of course, if we can start by being there in a compassionate way with our children, but we're human, and you know what? Life is full of these like trees that fall down and interrupt our development. These events, these situations that cause pain. You can't walk through this life without having pain. And if you have pain, you have this situation. And you can't prevent it. So the best thing is, how do you heal it? And the step is to realize that the I am is love. It is all of the wonderful things that you could imagine. It is essentially love. Okay? So stop the language that says I am angry. No. You have an I am. However, it's a part that is angry.
Wonderful.
Right. And when
Wonderful
you say
reminder.
I am, I think to clarify for people too, if they're confused about this, I am it's your essence. You're invoking the divine when you say I am.
I am is the name of God.
Yes.
Yes.
And so yes.
Whatever you
so it is
God to be, it is the name of God. I am.
Yes. And so yes, to say I am something, you want to be clear about what you say after you say the words I am. Okay?
The only
and the
thing
truth
that goes
is I am love.
is I am love.
Yeah.
I am divine. That's what goes with I am.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a great clarification, because how often do people say I am, and then this whole raft of things that they really aren't.
That's because they believe that this everyday reality is that which is an illusion is the only reality. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense that, of course, that's what we do believe, because that's the only thing we were taught. And what I'm really getting from, the pearls and the golden nuggets from what you're sharing, Marcia, is, here you are, and yes, if you happen to be someone with, with children, you can help them. But that inner child that's within us as adults, as we move along here, continuing on, you can do that right now for you. That what we were saying earlier in the show, where that part of you that is being triggered like that, to embrace it and help it, just like I would if I had a child in my life right now and was speaking to them. Speak like that to yourself, and it's going to shift that perception, right? And it will make a big difference.
And
big difference.
I'm a psychotherapist, so there are, therapeutic processes to help in order to do that. But if you can be aware that a part is surfacing, has been triggered. And if you can enter into a relationship with it, a compassionate relationship with it, on your own, it will really transform your life.
Yes. That was perfectly put. As we actually are coming to the end. Oh, that was great. So, thank you, Marcia. That was really wonderful. We apologize for our glitches today and all of that, but definitely filled with quite a lot for people to take away, to be able to use today. And it was very, it's a very powerful way to live, and you want to be listening and applying this in your life now. And it's going to make for a much better life. So we appreciate that you joined us today in the Coach Cafe with your wisdom. And again, let our listeners know how they can get your book and visit your website.
The website is marciaschwartz.com, MARCIA, middle initial A, Schwartz, SCHWARTZ. And also Facebook. You can go on facebook.com/pathofreturn.
Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. And we're going to make this available as we're going to kind of clean up this recording so people can come to the website and listen to it. And you're definitely going to want to listen to this one a couple of times for sure. So, keep an eye on for that. Because of our glitches today, we're going to clean that up. So thanks again, Marcia. We appreciate that you joined us again, and we just love your book, and we're going to, keep recommending it to all of our listeners for sure.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, and it was a pleasure.
Oh, thanks, Marcia.
Oh, for us as well. So thanks, Marcia and Kathleen, and thanks to our listeners and our caller.
Yep. Thank you very much. And just a reminder again to visit us at www.coachcaferadio.net to find out everything you need to know, including listening back again to Marcia's show and finding out about our new product, Magnetize to Manifest, and more. And you can always visit our guest gallery and listen to any of our archived shows. And what else? And as always, we have another waiting on a confirmation, waiting for who will be joining us again in the Coach Cafe next Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where you get your weekly cup of inspiration. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy this day. So thanks again. Thanks, Estra.
Thanks, Kathleen. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.